The main reason people buy VIVO phones is that they are cheap. With a VIVO phone, you'll also get access to killer specs and features too. Like Xiaomi, VIVO is all about delivering big specs at low price points. VIVO also has a phone to fit any budget, from ultra-budget to higher mid-range phones. Essentially, if you're looking to spend less than $300 on a phone, and you don't want a Pixel 4a, VIVO has a huge selection of potential options for you. The cost of VIVO phones is the #1 driving force behind the brand's popularity in places like India and Indonesia. Demand for low-cost, high-performance phones in these places is enormous. And this is why VIVO and Xiaomi, not Apple, are clearing up all the profits in these countries. Again, when it comes to VIVO phones, you aren't really missing out on specs, regardless of where you go in the range. Even its cheapest phones have very competitive specs. You're talking great cameras, plenty of RAM, and more than enough internal storage. The beauty of VIVO phones, from a Western perspective, is that you can access things like quad-lens cameras and 5G connectivity for a lot less than you can with more traditional phone brands like Apple and Samsung. For instance, take the newly launched VIVO NEX3S 5G, the company's latest, and first, Snapdragon 865 phone. The VIVO NEX3S 5G packs in a ton of killer specs: 12GB of RAM, 512GB of storage, support for 5G, a pop-up front-facing camera, and it retails for around $700. Now, $700 is a lot of money, but it is still a good $300 cheaper than Samsung's Galaxy S20, its nearest rival with respect to specs and hardware. And if you need something cheaper from VIVO, that still has flagship chops, it has a bunch of other cheaper options too, like the VIVO V20, which was launched in October 2020. VIVO X70 series was unveiled in China on September 9. The lineup includes VIVO X70, VIVO X70 Pro, and VIVO X70 Pro Plus smartphones. The new flagship VIVO smartphone series is expected to launch in the global market sometime this month. And now a fresh leak suggests that the Chinese smartphone maker will launch only 2 models from the lineup in the country on October 30. Another report suggests that the global variants of VIVO X70 Pro and VIVO X70 Pro Plus will feature the gimbal camera system. VIVO X70, VIVO X70 Pro, and VIVO X70 Pro Plus were launched in China earlier this month. The VIVO X70 pricing starts at 3,699 Chinese yuan. VIVO X70 Pro pricing starts at 4,299 Chinese yuan. And VIVO X70 Pro Plus pricing starts 5,499 Chinese yuan. A separate report by GSM Arena, based on an industry source, the global variants of VIVO X70 Pro and VIVO X70 Pro Plus will feature the brand's signature gimbal system for the camera, offering stabilization on all 4 of its rear sensors. Dubbed Ultra-Sensing Gimbal Pro, by VIVO, the 360-degree image and video stabilization feature will reportedly be leveraged by ultra-wide 48-megapixel Sony IMX598 sensor on the X70 Pro Plus to offer 5-axis stabilization and better lighting in darker settings. VIVO X70 Pro, VIVO X70 Pro Plus specifications. The Indian and global variants of VIVO X70 Pro and VIVO X70 Pro Plus can largely be expected to have similar specifications as its China variants. VIVO X70 Pro has a 6.56-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate. It is powered by an Exynos 1080 Society. It features a quad rear camera setup that includes a 50-megapixel primary sensor, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide-angle sensor, a 12-megapixel portrait sensor, and an 8-megapixel telephoto sensor. For selfies, it has a 32-megapixel sensor. VIVO X70 Pro features a 4,450 mAh battery with 44W flash charge fast charging support. VIVO